vote for it. So you need 5 more to get to 60 in order to get the government queued up again. So on Wednesday, the Congressional Budget Office reported that they're costing us overall between $7 and $14 billion. That's what the president sees when he gets back, and that's why he is so upset today. He's trying to rebuild the economy, put it on jet fuel, and now this happens. On Thursday, the remainder of the federal agencies will miss their first paycheck. I talked to a group of people the other day who work as staffers in Washington. They say it's tough every month just to pay for your rent. Can you imagine you have no money to pay for anything? Even a promissory note isn't really effective. It's affecting real people. You talk about the military, they stopped getting paid, but the president has found a donor for 1 week and other ways to pay him this week. So for now, the military is getting paid. On Saturday, this is really going to hurt, in various states especially. Some states have about 7% of people on SNAP programs, that aid program for food and basic staples. You have now SNAP payments not being issued. The WIC program will run out of funding this week, and open enrollments for ACA begins. And people are looking at it and saying, well, the Biden subsidies are gone, the pandemic is finished, the big beautiful bill is queuing up. So this is your chance. These are your new bills for the upcoming year. Didn't the Democrats say the whole reason for their walkout was because of the Obamacare subsidies? Well, people are already seeing it. But I think the big picture, guys, is the reason why those prices are going up, the premiums are going up, is not because of anything the Republicans did. It's because Obamacare is not working. The subsidies during the pandemic put a Band-Aid on a problem that is now apparent for everyone to see. I'm not sure that people are getting that message, though.
Well, Lindsey Graham said that he thinks Democrats will cave next week, but Hakeem Jeffries says, you're delusional, we're not, or he didn't say that specifically to Lindsey, but they were asking him, when will y'all fold? And he said that the Republicans are delusional for thinking that Democrats will fold. They call it a dirty deal, cold stone liars. President Trump says this is all about the legendary Trump derangement syndrome. They just hate him, so they don't want to give him a win.
Well, they're trying to hurt him in the process as well, but they're hurting the country right now. And when you talk to people, we all know federal workers that we know and care about, it's tough for them already. People, some of them living paycheck to paycheck. Do you really want someone that's an air traffic controller to have a second job when they need the focus to navigate the airwaves? I just don't think it's smart at all. I do disagree with the president. I think it's a bad idea to eliminate the filibuster, but I understand the frustration. It looks like they're not willing to compromise or have some type of debate or anything like that. They just want to hurt him in the process.
But I think that what he's saying is, hey, we did it for judges when you kept the filibuster for legislation. Why don't we just do it for shutdowns? And that's where I think that Mitch McConnell's not going to go along with that. No, that for sure.
Traditionally, only in Democrat land, Mr. President. Democrat leader, of course, continues to try to push this ludicrous narrative that Republicans or President Trump shut down the government. That's right. The party that demanded nothing and put forward a clean, nonpartisan bill is the party that shut down the government. And the party that demanded $1.5 trillion to keep the government open until Friday, until Halloween. That's what their bill will do. $1.5 trillion in new spending to keep the federal government open until Friday. I wonder if Democrats have seen some of the recent headlines, like this one. And I quote, benefits cliff amps up pressure on Senate Democrats, end quote, and, quote, largest federal workers union calls for an end to the shutdown, putting pressure on Democrats, end quote. Putting pressure on Democrats, Mr. President, not Republicans. Now why? Because Republicans are ready to reopen the government today. And we're not demanding a single thing in exchange. It's the Democrats who are refusing. In fact, the Democrats' latest ploy is, get this, moral outrage that the president isn't stepping in to save Democrats from the consequences of their actions. That's right. Democrats are outraged that they are coming face to face with the consequences of their decision to shut down the government. And so they're flailing around, blaming President Trump for not stepping in to somehow save the SNAP program from running out of money to pay benefits. Yeah, that's right, Mr. President. The very same people who were content to let the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, more commonly known as WIC, run dry are now positioning themselves as crusaders for nutrition benefits. President Trump did step in to save Democrats from themselves on WIC. He somehow managed to find money to cover the program for the time being. But there is a limit to what he can do. That's kind of the reason we like to, have the government. But apparently Democrats are still not willing to contemplate allowing the government to function. Because the SNAP bill that they tried to use yesterday was not just a cynical political ploy to insulate themselves from the consequences of their own actions. It was also a disturbing signal. The Democrats are ready to continue this shutdown, I guess forever. The Democrats have any end date in sight? Are there any consequences bad enough to get Democrats to reopen the government again? Because things are getting pretty serious here, Mr. President. The shutdown had consequences from day one. But now, 30 days in, the consequences are really stonewalling. Here are some headlines, I think, that describe the situation. Government shutdown could lead to $14 billion in lost GDP, the Congressional Budget Office reports. Shutdown could close Head Start programs this week, jeopardizing child care. Shutdown crushes small business owners as losses hit billions. Industry leaders beg Congress for clean CR. Ongoing government shutdown threatens holiday travel. National Guard training grinds to halt amid shutdown with no pay in sight. U.S. government shutdown, 60,000 aviation safety staff face financial strain as crisis deepens. Largest federal workers union calls for clean bill to end shutdown. Those, Mr. President, are just a sampling of the headlines out there, and they represent the consequences after Democrats' shutdown accelerates. So when will the Democrats put an end to this, Mr. President? When the economy is in ruins, when federal workers have lost their homes, when housing assistance and small business loans and Head Start and National Guard training are distant memories. I hope the pain of the American people is worth the plaudits the Democrats are getting from their liberal base. Mr. President, I don't know if listing out the consequences of Democrat shutdown moves any Democrats anymore. I really don't. In fact, more than one member of their party way more than one member of their party has described using the pain of the American people as leverage. I'll give you an example of some of the things that they've been saying. Starting with the Democrat leader, every day gets better for us. The whip, the number 2 position among House Democrats, says there will be families that are going to suffer, but it was one of the few times, or the few leverage times that we have. Senator from New Mexico, paying our troops gives the president more leverage. That's a really good reason not to pay the troops, right? Senator from Arizona, asked about it, said, hey, I just go back and shut it down again. Senator from Delaware, frankly, this is our only moment of leverage, and although a very pleasant tool to use, very unpleasant tool to use. Yeah, it's unpleasant, all right, if you're a worker who's lost their jobs, not getting paid, and of course the senator from Vermont, you reopen the government, we lose our leverage. It's all about leverage. That's what they're making it all about. Leverage. So the question is, when are American people going to matter more than their leverage, Mr. President? If there are any Democrats out there who can still see beyond the demands of their far left base, if there are any Democrats who care about the damage that this shutdown is doing, then I have a bill right there at the desk. A clean, nonpartisan continuing resolution to fund WIC, SNAP, troop pay, air traffic controller pay, farm programs, housing assistance, our national defense, and every single other government priority. We just need 5 Democrats to show some courage and join the 3 Democrats who are already with us, and we can get this government open. That's all it takes, Mr. President. Everybody knows that in the Senate it takes 60 votes to do anything. And Democrats come down here and consistently say, well, the Republicans have control of the Senate, the House, the White House. And the Republicans in the House, the Senate, and the White House are all agreed. Open up the government. But you can't do that in the Senate unless you have 60 votes. Meaning we have to have a few Democrats. We have a few already. We need 5 Democrats with a backbone. 5 Democrats with the courage to take on that far left base and
That's all
say
we're
we
looking
care.
for.